I almost got into sport by accident, actually, because I'd had a couple of years in and out of hospital with various operations, and I was going up to Great Ormond Street for rehab. One of the physios said to me, there's this thing going on at Stoke Mandeville. Why don't you go and have a look? I did like sport, and I'd started to do a little bit of swimming as rehab. And I thought, well, okay. And my parents took me up there, and that was it, hooked. The switch from rehab to competition was seamless, I think. I was always competitive anyway, and I think I'd done a bit of swimming, and I went to Stoke Mandeville and I saw these other people swimming and doing other sports, and I thought, I think I could do that, and I think I could possibly do it better. Again, the arrogance of youth. Yeah, I started training. I was really lucky because I got into Buckinghamshire Ladies Swimming Club, which was a very successful able-bodied club in those days, and they gave me a coach, and I went training every minute I could. So that was my first sport, and from there I just had to move on to other sports. I always wanted to win. It was just something in me. I wanted to be the best, and I was lucky because I did seem to have the sort of talent to help me achieve that. And within 2 months of starting sport, I think I'd broken a couple of national swimming records, and the following year I held 3 world records in different strokes, and it just went on from there, really. The first time I went to Stoke Mandeville was possibly a little underwhelming in terms of I turned up at the hospital, and we were expected to stay in the wards I dread to think what health and safety would say about it today, because you were so close to the person in the next bed that you could almost sort of pick their leg up and move it by mistake for your own. But yes, we were either accommodated in the wards themselves, which was the better of the 2 options, or in sort of Nissen huts, which had been built by the RAF in 1950 something, which were cold in winter and hot in summer. But it wasn't the way it looked, it was the way it felt. And it was just an amazing environment. There was so much of a buzz in those, but I think there still is, but certainly in those days, that's what caught me. There was a camaraderie. The hospital staff and Papa Gutman were amazing, and there was the sport as well. Sports facilities were a little basic. We got transported up to RAF Halton to swim. Didn't have a swimming pool on site. We did have a basketball court. When I first went there was no athletics track. We only did 60 metres in those days, so we only really needed a 100-metre strip, but that was a long time before it went in. And field events was just a sort of painted line on the grass and get on with it. But there was nowhere else like it.